We begin with breaking news in the fight against the coronavirus. The FDA is authorizing Merck's antiviral pill to treat the virus in the U.S. The pill is called Molnupiravir, and it is the second antiviral pill authorized by the agency in as many days. The FDA authorized its use in adults 18 and up with mild to moderate infections who are at risk for hospitalization or death. The announcement comes one day after the FDA authorized Pfizer's COVID pill for people ages 12 and up. And potentially more good news. 3 different studies report that Omicron infections more often than not result in mild illness, and the risk of hospitalization is lower than it is with Delta. Despite the rise in treatments, the U.S. reported more than 238,000 new cases and over 2,000 deaths Wednesday. Omicron quickly became the dominant variant in the U.S. in a matter of weeks. The variant made up of 73% of all new cases in the country, and in high transmission areas, that number goes up to 90%, which is why so many are rushing to get tested as families prepare to gather for the Christmas holiday. CBS News' Michael George has more.
The FDA has authorized a second COVID-19 pill, a Merck drug for high-risk adults who test positive to take at home when no other options are available. It comes a day after the agency granted emergency use authorization for Pfizer's more effective antiviral pill. The FDA found Paxlovid significantly reduced the risk of hospitalization for those at risk of serious illness.
This is a very promising antiviral, and therefore we want to make sure that production is ramped up as quickly as possible.
The new treatments come as the Omicron variant continues to surge. Studies from overseas appear to show Omicron cases are less severe, but health experts say the country can't let its guard down.
If you're unvaccinated, don't think that it's going to be a milder version of this virus. You shouldn't assume that at all. It could be really dangerous to do that.
Some hospitals are already overwhelmed. The ICU in Michigan's Beaumont-Dearborn Hospital is at 98%. A team of military members has been sent to help.
It's really the unknown. We are in a perfect storm.
The New York City area is experiencing a record number of cases, and about 20 urgent care centers have temporarily closed due to staff shortages and burnout. As cases explode right before Christmas, the demand for at-home tests has skyrocketed.
I tried to buy some several days ago, and I went to several places. They're sold out everywhere.
And starting tomorrow, Universal Orlando will once again require face coverings for guests and team members indoors. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
We want to bring in Dr. Jeremy Faust. He's an emergency physician at Brigham and Women's Hospital, Harvard Medical School, and author of Inside Medicine on Bulletin.com. Dr. Faust, thank you so much for joining us. I want to jump right in. Let's begin with the approval of Merck's COVID pill just a day after the approval of Pfizer's. What type of impact do you expect them to have in the COVID fight, and how will healthcare workers determine which pill is best for their patient?
Thank you for having me. It's great news that we have therapeutics that work, and we'll see how well they work in real life outside of trials, and we'll see how well they work in terms of distribution, because that's the big question. These can be expensive, and we are going to rely on some help in terms of the finances here. I think there are certainly some questions in terms of who gets these pills. I think that there's a question of fairness. The people who need them the most are the ones who should get it. I don't subscribe to this idea that if you've chosen to be unvaccinated, you don't deserve these pills. Look, I want everybody to get vaccinated, but you don't turn around and then deny them care for the things that they need later on. Merck has probably a little bit more of a safety profile to watch. There's some question about mutations. I don't think it's a serious issue, but pregnant patients may not want this. So it'll be an on-the-ground decision. The question as to which one works better, certainly the Pfizer seems to have an edge, but I really tend to think that once we see it in real life, we will know. I think these will help things, but because of the expense and just getting these pills out, I still believe that the best way to end this is through vaccination, and these are a good thing to have in your back pocket when you have infections.
So you and a colleague sent a memo to CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky advocating for a specific method to help fight the spread of Omicron. Tell us about that method and the term circuit breakers.
The idea of a circuit breaker is it's not a shutdown, it's not a lockdown, and it's not blunt. It's very nimble. We want to make sure the goal of circuit breakers is very narrow. It is to make sure that hospitals do not overflow so that they can continue to provide life-saving care for COVID and for non-COVID alike. And we now can leverage real-time data in ways that we could not before. So we can leverage HHS federal data, and we can use data on hospitalization rates, on how many case counts there are per day, how many beds there are in every single county in the country. And we can tell a county, hey, you are at risk of filling up because we know that, for example, your beds are 90% full today. And we can say that based on the case counts you're seeing right now in the past few days, even if a very small number of them end up being hospitalized a few days from now, that you're going to fill up those beds. And we now can actually make those projections in real time. And this should trigger an on-the-ground assessment, because I think that if the hospitals can't provide care that would save lives usually, I think that's just a completely unsustainable and terrible idea. And in that situation, we would recommend a circuit breaker, which would be a limitation in capacity for indoor dining or arenas, large gatherings, because these low-hanging fruit, just a little bit of change in that way can actually get us away from the edge of where the hospitals are no longer safe.
And we definitely don't want to be on that edge. Are you taking a different approach with the Omicron variant than you did with Delta?
I do not take much solace in the studies that came out today saying that Omicron is milder. And I'll tell you, there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, I think that people are getting the wrong impression maybe. If it's a little bit milder, it might be the equivalent of if you were driving and you hit a brick wall going 90 miles an hour, and now it's only 75 miles an hour. I still think that that's a bad impact. And so if Omicron had been the first variant that we'd seen, this still had almost all of the potential to cause illness and death as the other variants. So the second piece is maybe the studies we're seeing are what we call confounded. They're influenced by the fact that the populations that we're looking at have a degree of existing immunity from prior infections. That does matter, and it's important to just acknowledge that. And also, but probably better than that, the number of people who've been vaccinated and boosted as appropriately. So likely what we're seeing is that we have a more immune population. I suspect that among the immune naive, those who've never been vaccinated and those who have never been infected, that Omicron is not much milder for those people. They are still at high risk. If it's a little milder, that's great, but I think it's probably not a game changer amount of change in that direction. So I want people to be very, very cautious with this variant.
Yeah, definitely always cautious. You're recommending short-term restrictions to fight the spread, but it's apparent that many people are just over lockdowns, shutdowns, or anything restrictive. How do you reconcile safety recommendations with a nation that is worn out from this pandemic?
We are worn out. And that's why I think that asking for narrow action is actually the best thing. We're not advocating for a system-wide shutdown or even a local shutdown. It's very specific. I'll give you an example. With 2,200 counties that we can report on, almost 2,000 of them have not reached the circuit breaker threshold that we recommend. So we would say, look, we know you have COVID in those areas and we want you to stop the spread there, but that's not what this metric does. For the other 100 to 200 counties that are on that edge or over the edge, we want to say, look, maybe we can all get behind this one idea, which is that the hospitals need to have space for you if you get sick. So I think that people are tired of doing things that don't have a clear outcome and that don't have a clear on-ramp and off-ramp. And we provided that very clearly because we don't want people to think that we're fooling them into something greater. Like if we say, look, we think this can last for 5 to 7 days, a decrease in capacity or limitations on indoor dining or something to that nature, 5, 7, 10 days, but not more than 14, because that's really all we think is necessary. And so we foresee a future in which there's a few days at a time where we limit things, but we don't want to be in a situation where we're asking people to do things for 1, 2, 3 weeks because they just won't do it. And so we would rather have something that's good rather than something that's perfect. And this arms people with that tool. And we hope that because it's so specific and narrow that they will be willing to do something. And if it works, they'll feel good about it, because that's one thing. People hate losing. We love winning. So let's give them some wins.
Well, Dr. Jeremy Faust, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.